got two boys, 8 and 11, and we got to enforce and find better eating habits for everyone. Gosh, probably including myself. But let's bring on the experts here, the guys making it happen. Dr. Lucy Cook, and we've got she's a psychologist, by the way, and child feeding specialist. And then we've got Alex Goss here, who's a games developer at Teach Your Monster. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi there.
Hey, Adam.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure to have you guys hanging out with us here on the show. First things first, and who you guys, either of you could start, but bring everyone up to speed a little bit here on the mission. You guys obviously have a great mission here, but talk a little bit about it.
Cool. Yeah, Lucy, I'm more than happy to start with that one. So yeah, I'm Alex. Been working at Teach Your Monster about 7 years now. And as a non-profit, we're all about trying to help children with various learning challenges, really tackling areas that perhaps, commercially a lot of people wouldn't even touch, but things that are massively important, such as inspiring children to read for pleasure, helping children with early numeracy, early literacy. And what we're really looking at with this game that we've just launched, Adventurous Eating, is about good nutrition, which really is the foundation for a happy and healthy life. So that's kind of what our purpose is here, really.
Bring everyone up to speed on what Teach Your Monster is, what you guys have been doing, and how you guys are going to be using, your expertise and platform to take this to another level.
Yeah, sure. So Teach Your Monster overall, we've been around for, don't even know how many years now, probably about over 10 years now, I think.
Wow.
But with, and that was kind of Teach Your Monster to Read originally. That was our kind of first game. But really kind of following all the learnings that we have by having that game out there, and that one's played by about 2.5 million kids every month.
Wow.
We've just been kind of listening and learning to how, what's been going on in the nutrition space.
Yeah.
Speaking with Lucy and understanding the challenges that a lot of parents are facing with their children. Only 14% of children are getting the 5 fruits and veg that they need in their diet a day. That's at least in the UK. That's what we have. It's like a recommended 5 fruits and veg a day.
Okay.
And 24% of parents have told us that they've actually just kind of given up trying to get their kids to try new fruit and veg, just because it is a really big challenge. So we've been kind of taking all the things that we know that work at Teach Your Monster, which, to kind of cut a ginormous story short, is about really letting kids just have fun, right? They want to play games. They want to just enjoy themselves. So giving them that safe, fun platform where they have their own monster and they almost just learn by accident. So
yeah,
I'll go into a little bit more detail on
you're
that,
making it. You're not to cut you off, but it seems like you're making it. You're presenting kids with a platform that is going to be fun for them. At the same time, they're learning great habits. It seems like it, and maybe bringing you into the picture a little bit here, Doc, because honestly, as a parent myself, and it's like I've got one kid who's like just loves vegetables and lettuce and has no problem eating good stuff, right? And then I've got this other one, if it's green, forget it. It's just so difficult to introduce, good nutritional, foods for him. But how do we do this as parents?
Yeah. Well, it is funny when you see in one family one really good eater and one really bad eater. It's not uncommon. I spent my kind of involvement in trying to make the whole thing fun started originally. My academic career was was about kind of developing interventions to make children more enthusiastic, particularly about fruit and vegetables, because that was the hardest thing to get down them. But it became more and more apparent that kind of banging on about the healthy side of it does not really get anywhere with young children. They're not particularly interested in, being more healthy. They're interested in having fun. And when I was approached by the Teach Your Monster organization to sort of consult on the development of a game, it seemed a great way of bringing my knowledge of what works together with people who are experienced at making things fun while learning. So it seemed like a very good match.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it's come from. I mean, there are kids who eat everything, but there are lots that don't. And this game is, to help those who are a bit more reluctant, perhaps.
How do we, you're the psychologist, so certainly, you've got a much better knowledge than us as parents. But, sometimes I struggle with the fact, how do you get how do you get the message across in a way where you don't want to it's almost like you don't want to make them feel bad because they're not making healthy choices, or this is possibly, if they continue to eat, poorly, that, they're gaining weight, or it's not good for this or for that. And
absolutely. And that's vital. I mean, the worst thing you possibly do is start somebody feeling, that they are being punished, that they must eat healthier food because they've eaten too much junk food, and now, here's the punishment. And I think the absolute key is in making it fun and making them enjoy those fruits and vegetables. That's the holy grail, is getting them to enjoy it. If they're eating them out of sufferance, then you're getting nowhere. And the whole thing about the game that has been developed here, Adventurous Eating, is it's about exploring foods in a fun way, to sort of engender the curiosity and excitement of children around fruits and vegetables in particular.
okay.
Because these things do taste good. What we want is for our kids to like them. It's not, we don't want them to eat them just out of duty to their own health.
Yes, parents, we have a responsibility. But I love what you're doing, Alex. I mean, look at, my kids love gaming. I mean, look at every kid, right? Everyone wants to, I mean, they all like to game it up. But at the end of the day, if they're doing something where it actually benefits them, they don't even know it. It's almost indirectly exactly helping them.
Yeah, and that's always the best sort of review or feedback that we get from parents, is they kind of go, do you know what? My kid doesn't even know that they're learning right now.
Right.
That's where their attention is. Their attention is on that device. And by just taking that, basically the method and all the learnings that we get from Lucy, and then speaking to the parents as well, we just kind of weave it into the game. So first and foremost, it is just making sure that we have a super fun game.
Right.
And this is one where you take your monster, you have your very own monster, which kids absolutely love.
Yeah.
And then they're almost vicariously playing with food in the game. Now, you might kind of think, do you know what? Like digital food, how is that actually going to get my kids to actually eat healthy in real life? It really kind of comes down to the role modeling. And like Lucy said, making it fun, keeping it simple. It's no pressure. And they're even seeing their monsters dislike food. And you know what? That's okay. So we're kind of getting that message across. It's kind of to the parents and the kids, really, that just seeing a pepper for the first time and being able to kind of maybe see where strawberries come from, and just understanding what your food is, that
right.
where plants are coming from, and just having a bit of fun with them. And it's okay if you just give it a little lick and you don't like it. And just the more you try it, the more you become familiar with it, you almost just so happen to then go, do you know what? Can I have that thing my monster had? And that's kind of what we've seen. That's the results we've seen.
I love it. Now, what about like ages? What are we talking about here exactly for the app?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing, because it's just a easy, fun app. It's also available free on the web as well.
Okay.
But we're seeing kids of all different ages playing it. It is targeted at your kind of kindergarten, first grade.
Okay.
Kind of really early sort of steps of being educated in many different ways, but just kind of understanding food. And there might be some early food nutrition going on at school at the same time, in terms of education. So it kind of is meant to complement that early education in food. That
I feel like that's like the right age, right, Doctor?
Absolutely. The earlier, the better. And it's around that age that they're really starting to kind of consolidate the things that they like and don't like, and they can be quite stubborn about that. And I think if you can intervene at that point and start to blow away some of those prejudices about food, then you've really set them up for the future. That's not to say that kids can't learn new eating habits later, and they do, they really do. But at the same time, the earlier you start, the better it is.
But it's crazy. I mean, I'm looking at some of the percentages and numbers here that 72% of parents are struggling with getting their kids to eat healthy. 72. Now, is that in the UK or is that in the States as well?
That was across both UK and US.
Wow. That's a lot of parents.
US. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not alone, I guess. That's a beautiful thing. Although it's sad in the same breath, because it is a difficult task as a parent. It's important to me. I appreciate what you guys are doing. Any last words just to kind of throw it out there for our listenership?
Oh, Lucy, you go for it. Go on.
I was just going to say that role modeling, both by this little monster in the app, but just generally role modeling as a parent, is a really powerful tool for encouraging healthy eating in kids. The more you can eat together as a family, and I know that parents work, it's really difficult to find the time, but even if it's only once or twice a week, eating together, parents showing that they like healthy foods,
okay,
is really important. And then kids can, with the app, they can, they have a little monster who's also a role model, who, they've designed themselves. They're invested in that monster, and that acts as a really powerful role model as well.
I love it.
Thanks so much, Adam.
Alex and Dr. Lucy, appreciate everything you guys are doing. Thanks again for joining the show.
Cheers,
Thank
Adam.
you. It was a pleasure.
All right.
Bye-bye.